the cryptic parts of all of this. So what happened to the Snyderverse, the Zack Snyderverse, right? Tragedy in his life happened and he couldn't finish filming the Justice League. So Warner Brothers was like, dude, finish this or we're going to find somebody that will. And he was like, I quit. Now, Warner Brothers thought, okay, we lost Zack Snyder, who was the visionary behind all this. Let's just get Joss Whedon, who did the Avengers, to do Justice League. It flops horrifically. And the movie is nothing like what the actual movie was supposed to be. This is where you have released the Snyder Cut, which is this whole movement, because I'm not going to get too into that, but it's this it's like Republican Democrat. It's that cutthroat. I doubt that Amazon acquires Warner Brothers and they're like, yeah, we'll keep the same people on. No, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So either way, people will lose their jobs
I think there might be some more real estate inventory that'll be brought up in Burbank then. Like people might have to be forced to sell.
But you have to also think like studios will be built. Regardless of what happens, they're going to build studios somewhere. Now,
here?
The question. Like, will it be here? I really don't know. And so how it pertains to LA, what I say is that it should pertain to LA. They should build it here. This shouldn't be built in Georgia. It shouldn't be built in Shreveport, Louisiana, where 50 Cent has this like $3 billion studio or whatever.
I saw that.
It should be here in LA. So, my frustration is
LA first.
Yeah, LA first. Stop outsourcing, dude. Stop giving our freaking money to England, dude.
I agree.
We fought those people, dude. 300 years. Come on, man. We're just gonna give him all his money.
I agree with that, man. They should keep the economy strong here in LA. I mean, dude, where it all started.
Trump had tweeted that, like, I'm gonna send Mel Gibson and John Voight to correct Hollywood. And it's like, first off, that never happened. Second of all,
I was about to ask you, did that happen? But second of all, what was it?
Never happened.
The country was created and built by 20-year-olds, 30-yearolds.
People forget. George Washington was 15 when he freed America. He was a 14-year-old boy.
15?
He was a 7-year-old boy.
Okay. All right, let's move on. 3 balls, 2 strikes, pressure is on. This is where we discuss real estate, property improvement, and business. Together, we'll strategize on how to win. Welcome to the Full Count. Hey everyone, welcome back to Full Count Podcast. We have a guest, AJ. He's a film director and producer. We've had him on before, so it's good to have him back on and talk a little bit about what's happening in the latest current events for film in LA.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for having me back, bro. Pleasure, like always.
For sure. So let's get into it, man. What's happening right now with Warner Brothers? I hear a lot of stuff. I haven't really dove into the details, but you being an expert in this industry, it's important.
Expert, a 30-year-old expert in this industry.
The country was created and built by 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. And
I know, people forget, dude.
Facebook was created, although they were geniuses, Facebook was created by 20-year-olds.
People forget.
Right.
Yeah. George Washington was 15 when he freed America. He was a 14-year-old boy.
15?
He was a 7-year-old boy.
Okay. All right, let's move on. So what's happening?
So Warner Brothers Discovery is selling, and I don't know if you know too much about like the DC movies and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually another very interesting angle here that I forgot to tell you about, which is something that has to do with Zack Snyder, the director.
Okay.
He's the director of 300. He's the director of Watchmen. He's the director of Batman versus Superman, the Snyder Cut, Justice League, etc. And it's some very interesting things, like the way that you see people in politics post things cryptically before something big happens. Same thing in the film industry. So it's very, and my schizoid ass is like watching stuff on both fronts all the time. So it's very interesting to see these things. So Warner Brothers has not been doing too well lately. In general, like they just had this Superman movie, but that Superman movie did dog shit in numbers. And I'll give you an example. When you're accounting for the numbers of a movie, right, you're accounting for the international. You're not accounting for the domestic. You're accounting for how much money this movie made internationally. Every week, they will show reports of what this movie made in the worldwide box office, right? For this Superman movie, which it was super interesting. Everybody was talking about it because they don't do this.
Yeah, it was good marketing.
They would only report the domestic numbers of the Superman movie every week.
I see.
So that is very interesting, right? That's not and the numbers were okay. They weren't crazy. They were okay, but the numbers internationally were less than the numbers for the Zack Snyder Superman film from like 26. I'm not huge on those films, people. So I'll go into that in a second. But I don't know
20,
what year it came
that
out.
was 2016 ish. Like, who was the main actor?
I think 2011 or something. It's Henry Cavill.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
he's good.
I think maybe he's amazing.
Right.
He's a good actor. Um, but so that movie grossed like 300 something. I don't even remember, bro. I should have looked at the numbers to be honest with you, but I know that it grossed way more, like exponentially more
Mm-hmm.
back in 20 whatever the fuck when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
um as opposed to this new Superman movie, which a lot of people thought was very political. They thought maybe it was about Russia and Ukraine or Israel and Palestine. And so,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest with you, nobody's really interested in that stuff. They're just trying to watch comic book movies, right? They're trying to escape from this stuff, right?
Reality. Yep.
So that's a big problem. If this Superman movie is not making enough money and it's only making enough money domestically and they cannot show. So, by the way, this Superman movie was supposed to be the flagship for a whole new DC cinematic universe. So if this one did not do
Mm.
amazing, and this is Superman, this is the biggest superhero. This
Right.
is like, Iron Man or Spider Man.
Batman's better, but yeah.
Of course, Batman can kill him. We all know this, and it's shown in Batman versus Superman. He uses a
Right.
kryptonite spear. Batfleck, Ben Affleck, Batman. Um, but what I was going to say is that that's really bad. And so James Gunn, who's the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm a very big fan of. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. The first one was very good. The second one I loved until people told me that it was bad, and then I loved it even harder. But no, I'm a big fan. People are not a fan. I'll get back to in the subject, but I just want to comment on this. People are not a big fan of something called the pin drop, which is when a director uses music
Mm.
very good, very well to put something in a scene, but there's no real story in those scenes. So
Oh,
uh,
interesting.
yeah, I'm just watching like a nice little music video.
Does
Now,
Hans Zimmer do that or no?
well, Hans Zimmer's a composer, and so
Okay.
he typically works with Christopher Nolan, and Christopher Nolan does not do that.
He does not do pin drop.
Absolutely
Oh,
not. I
good
mean,
to know.
so pin drop doesn't just mean like a score coming in, like it's a specific, or maybe I don't know, maybe the actual definition is more open, but
Right.
the point is like people criticizing this cheap like music use, right?
I
And
see.
so James Gunn always uses it. He even used it in Superman, but I'm quite a fan of that. I wish I had money to use fucking Highway to Hell. You know what I mean? I wish I had money to use Panama by Van Halen. Why? But I don't. So not right now. Also, like those classics rock songs, they're very expensive. Like Led Zeppelin is very expensive.
Mhm.
Taika Waititi used the Immigrant song in Thor Ragnarok, and it was a big deal because Led Zeppelin really doesn't. You don't hear Led Zeppelin
Right.
songs. You know who was able to get a Led Zeppelin song is actually Zack Snyder was able to get a Led Zeppelin song on this one movie called Sucker Punch, which kind of sucked to be honest with you,
Uh-huh.
but that Zeppelin song was good. Anyway, I'm getting off track
So
now.
Zack
But
Snyder, what did he do? He said something about the film?
no, he's the director of the original of sorry, not the original, but of the
Right. Henry
DC.
Cavill.
Yeah, but he wasn't just the director of that movie. He was the creative vision of the DCU. He was the head of the DCU.
Okay.
It's called the
Okay.
Snyderverse, right? Instead
Hmm.
of DCU universe. So he's the vision behind Batman. Ben Affleck as Batman. He's the vision behind Gal Gadot, which a lot of people obviously now don't feel comfortable with. But dude, I'll tell you right now, it's one of the hottest women alive. Sure, her acting may appear to some as subpar, but it's one of the hottest women alive. And I thought she looked great as Wonder Woman personally. Like I thought physically she was fit. I thought she looked great as Wonder Woman.
Right.
So he's the vision behind that as well. He's the vision behind, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, which looked great. So he's the visionary that did all that stuff. And James Gunn is the visionary who is now just starting his own universe. And so this new Superman was the flagship for this new universe. And based on how this Superman performed, they were gonna give him all of this stuff that he could do, and he was gonna stay on. But the Superman movie came out, and then Warner Brothers announced that they were selling. Doesn't look good. Does
I
not
see.
look good at all.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You're a film guy, and I'm sure you can assess that doesn't look good. So that's what's going on now. The cryptic parts of all of this. So what happened to the Snyderverse, the Zack Snyderverse, right? was that I'm not going to get into too much detail, but some tragedy in his life happened, and he couldn't finish filming the Justice League. So Warner Brothers was like, "Dude, finish this, or we're going to find
Mm,
somebody that will." And he was like, "I quit." Um, and so what happened is Warner Brothers hired Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon was the direct. He's the guy behind Firefly, which is a very very successful sci-fi show from the early 2000s, and he's a director of the first Avengers movie, which I think grossed close to $1 billion back in 2012. That movie set the precipice for what Hollywood is going to be for the next 10 years, right? So he's the director behind that. So he's kind of a big deal. Now, Warner Brothers thought, okay, we lost Zack Snyder, who was the visionary behind all this. Let's just get Joss Whedon, who did the Avengers, to do Justice League. It tanks horrifically. He
mm.
makes, the Justice League, the DC universe that Snyder had made was a lot darker. It was sad and dark.
Right, right. I remember that.
People liked it. Some people thought it was too dark, right? So that was the whole thing. Disney is like a comedian with a super cape, right? It can be cool, but it's just like this constant Disney, and the internet term for it, this constant Disney funny thing that there's no seriousness ever. The internet term for it is called post Whedonism, which is Joss Whedon, the director of the
Oh,
Avengers.
interesting. Yeah.
So whenever you were watching a movie and there's a very serious moment and somebody just goes, well, that was crazy, or like ruins it with some small little comedic tidbit, it's called post Whedonism, apparently.
Interesting.
um so anyway, and all of that, Warner Brothers, they got Joss Whedon. It flops horrifically, and the movie is nothing like what the actual movie was
Hmm.
supposed to. This is where you have released the Snyder cut, which is this whole movement. Because I'm not going to get too into that, but it's it's like Republican Democrat. It's that cutthroat.
Okay.
The
So
Snyder,
essentially, it was a snowball effect of wrong decisions by Warner Brothers, and I think what you're implying is those decisions are leading to the sale.
right? We're just getting into we're just some background as to, like, for the person that's not too into the industry. They're like, Warner Brothers are so big. Why are they selling? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, well, this is why. Like, Snyderverse crashed down, not because of Zack Snyder, but because they didn't allow him for some time of mourning after a tragedy in his
I
family type
see.
of thing,
Yeah.
and so he quit. And they brought in Joss Whedon. I'm sure they were trying to compete with Age of Ultron or Avengers something. They were trying. They're in competition, and so that crashed
Right.
and burned. And for the last like 3 to 4 years, we haven't had any DC content. You haven't seen Batman. Oh wait, so
Right.
you saw the Batman? The Batman comes out. That's a whole nother thing. Ben Affleck was supposed to make his own Batman movie, and he brings in Matt Reeves, the director of the Batman, to say, to Warner Brothers. He says, "Look, this is my director. He's amazing. He's done Planet of the Apes, all this stuff. He's going to direct it," because Ben Affleck was supposed to direct, write, and star in his own Batman movie. Never been done, and
So that didn't happen.
I would have loved to see it happen. No, it never happened.
So what happened then?
He got kind of fat. He was, my boy.
I remember that.
I can relate, where we have a similar type of probably stature.
Well, he was going through some alcohol abuse too, a little bit at that time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's like,
Right. That I mean, alcohol does not help. It fattens
he's
you up.
Irish. Just let him be, dude. He's from
Yeah.
fucking Boston. He's got he's from
So the Batman movie then, where he was a little bit overweight,
he's
he didn't
not.
direct it. He didn't do any of that.
It never existed.
It never existed.
Never
Okay.
came to be, because what happened was that Matt Reeves told Warner Brothers, "Hey, I'm not really interested in Ben Affleck's Batman, but I have my own idea."
Mm,
And so
spicy. That's not
yeah,
good.
look, this is the
That's like
industry.
bringing in a friend to help you do something, and then they kick you out.
Someone would say, "Oh, that sounds like Matt Reeves is a bad person," and it's like, dude, this is business. This is business.
Right.
Matt Reeves was able to provide, and guess what? People love his Batman. People love his Batman.
Which one
So
was recent though?
it's the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Oh yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that one. It was
I,
okay. It was a little
I
slow.
honestly, I've tuned out to superhero stuff, and I can look at this stuff now with like a third, a
Yeah.
bird's eye view, and I don't care about any of it. You
Right.
know,
Colin Farrell was great in it. I think he was even better.
he killed it as the
Right.
Penguin. I wasn't a fan of the Riddler, to be honest with you, but I liked everything else. The first 10, 15 minutes of that movie to me are probably some of the best Batman on cinema you'll ever see. It's like
Interesting.
Halloween night, and
Right.
all the villains
Right.
are like, should we go out and rob this bank? They're like, and they see that symbol, they're like, I don't know, but that motherfucker's gonna be out here. You know what I mean? It's pretty good in my opinion. But
Well,
so
how's Ben? How's Ben with all this? Is he pissed off?
yeah, for sure. There's animosity there for sure. They don't publicly come out, but and I don't think they hate each other, but I'm sure there's like, damn, I had these plans and
Hmm. Well,
whatever.
let me actually read this off to you because Warner Brothers about selling it. It's not like it's a completely new thing because Warner. I'm going to read this like quote from an article.
No,
Um,
it's not a new thing. No.
No, yeah, no. I'm not implying that you're saying that, but just for the audience. So Warner Brothers has changed hands several times over the decades. AT&T took control in 2018 through its 85.4 billion acquisition of Time Warner. Discovery, a cable TV company, assumed ownership in 2022, promising to restore the studio's former glory of ramping up film production and reaffirming its commitment to theatrical releases. So there's been quite a bit of movement with Warner Brothers. I think the only one that held steady for the longest time independent was 20th Century Fox, which sold
Mhm.
in 2019 to Disney.
Yes, yes. So somebody that's not involved at all and doesn't really pay attention to this stuff, they're going to be looking at these big studios and like, oh, are the movie theaters that broke? And
Right,
really, what's going on is that streaming platforms they now are appearing to have more power. You
right.
know, um, is what actually like Amazon Studios, right? Like Netflix.
Hmm.
So that was just I just gave you like kind of like the backstory as to why the DCU has not been looking so good, right? And why they'll probably sell. Now, the other end of that, this year, Warner Brothers grossed the most, like the Warner Brothers movies that are not DC, but the Superman included, grossed the most money this entire year. I'm trying to think, but damn, I should have. Let me see. What Warner Brothers movies did the best this year? Oh, I just remembered. So you know what it was? I didn't even like finish typing it up. I just remembered the Minecraft movie is Warner Brothers,
I don't
right?
know that one.
There was a. It's like, dude, the kids went crazy for that movie. You know what I mean? Um. Oh, and you know what else? The F1 movie.
Oh,
Uh.
Brad Pitt. Right.
Yes, the Formula One movie. It's Warner Brothers. Weapons. I love that movie. It was a horror film, kind of like a yeah, it's a psychological horror. I don't even know. And then obviously, um what's it called, bro? The one about The Conjuring, the one about The
Right.
Conjuring.
Yep.
It's like a whole
I've seen some of them.
dude. Those are all Warner Brothers IPs that they made the most money this year, right? So it's not that they don't make money. It's that it looks like it honestly looks like David Zaslav, who's in charge of Warner Bros. Discovery, doesn't want to do this. He looks like he's got this like a lot of responsibilities. Like I've got the DCU, I've got Batman and Superman. I've got The Conjuring. I've got Lord of the Rings. I got Sopranos. I got dude all of these IPs. So now I'll go into what this means, right? Like think about what the Warner Brothers IP is. It's Sopranos. It's Lord of the
Mm.
Rings. It's Game of Thrones. Okay,
It's
it's all of
yeah. It's huge.
so now, so now, if Amazon acquires that, they will be the
Hmm.
biggest thing, right? Because Amazon Studios now owns a studio, Warner Brothers Studios, right? Warner Brothers Pictures, which is a legacy studio that goes in theaters. So
Right.
Amazon will now go in theaters, right? Now, if Netflix buys them, they will own the entire game. I mean, I think that if Netflix, this is not like a fact, but I
Right.
think that if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, a couple things will happen, and it has to do with the whole DC thing and Zack Snyder and James Gunn thing. A couple things will happen. First off, Netflix is the number one streaming platform because it's internationally, globally, and they have stuff from original content from like Turkey, original content from Uzbekistan, original content from dude, Netflix is everywhere, right? Amazon is now doing that kind of stuff too, but Netflix beat them to it. They're the first ones.
Right.
You know, Disney Plus didn't turn a profit for years, and they knew that going in. But Netflix beat everybody because they did this so long ago that they've been churning out profits for years. So you know, it's kind of like these guys have to either Amazon or Paramount have to buy it, or Netflix just becomes like the most
Are
jacked.
those the two that are probably going to buy it? I thought I heard someone else might buy it too.
Universal is now showing interest in
Yeah.
buying it as
Oh,
well.
okay.
And that would also be very interesting. And that was recent, so I didn't really know too much about that until recently. But all this to say, you know, at the end of the day, we're talking a little bit about this sale, right? And what it's going to do
To the
for
community of LA,
the people of
real
Los Angeles,
estate, jobs.
because the film industry right now is being like shipped over to England, which is why you had, what was it like Trump saying he's going to put 100% tariffs. I mean, everybody's trying to find some way to like fix this issue, but that's not it. And it's definitely not exporting our industry to another country. So
Mm.
I think that in general, there'll be changes, but probably not as much as like we would expect either way,
What do you
right?
mean by the changes? What specific?
Like job loss, for instance, right?
Okay.
According to what acquisition happens with who, you will have people lose their jobs, or you will have people acquiring jobs and moving. But that's
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, as for the actual film industry, I guess you could look if Netflix were to buy out Warner Brothers. Netflix headquarters is here in LA. Okay, if Netflix were to buy out headquarters, they would probably start opening more studios up to shoot more content, and would probably be here. I'm guessing it would probably be here. Their headquarters is here. Like I I I was trying to figure out what company buying out Warner Brothers would benefit LA the most.
Hmm.
But the reality is, all these companies are so international that I don't think it would actually be that much of a difference. There's none of
Right.
these companies are making any public stand of being like, we're gonna have a film renaissance, which is what's necessary right now. We're gonna have a whole renaissance for the film industry where it's gonna be here. Skydance, Paramount is kind of saying that, playing with that a little bit about like we want this like pro Americana, pro macho thing,
Like this
but
shirt.
yeah, but the guy's running,
Right.
you
So wait. So
the guy's running.
okay.
I can say that, but that's great for the films
Hmm.
that they look like that. But what does that mean for the actual people that live here? Are there going to be like American-made movies by Americans here with American voices? And mind you, American voices means Americans, no matter where you come from or what your religion is. Mind you, you know what I mean? Like, is that what that means, or is that more of a is that going to be more like I don't know, more Top Gun, pro military, pro America
Right.
stuff, right? So, so I think if it's both, that works. I think if it's only one, and hopefully it's American people, that works. But if it's only like, oh, we're just gonna keep this like, the private sector, and it's just we're gonna make a pro America content, people are not gonna like that, you know.
So
So,
you
so
think
that's
Netflix buying it would probably impact the community the best, as opposed to everyone else that's shown some level of interest because their Netflix is located here.
I don't know. I'm assuming that
Right.
like
Right.
Universal, I think, is also located here. I mean, you know, again, I joked about being an expert because I'm not. I'm only basing this off of what I'm able to read, and what I'm able to read out there is that regardless of who acquires this,
Hmm.
whoever does acquire it is going to have a leg up in the industry
Right.
for a decade or maybe
And
even two.
that's the whole point of business, is to acquire your competitor and get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right now, there's game theory going on between Skydance and Netflix and Universal, and they're like, okay, if I make a huge offer, then I'm going to overvalue this, and if they don't meet me, then
Right.
whatever. So you have all this stuff going on, but in the middle of all this, you have Zack Snyder. Now I'm getting into the cryptic messages that have to do with
Oh yeah,
politics
we're
and
going
stuff.
back to that. Okay, I forgot about that.
In the middle of all of this, like bureaucratic and negotiations, you have Zack Snyder posting photos of like of the Snyderverse and what would have been, and all of these things alluding to the return of him as director of the Snyderverse.
I
Now,
see.
he's very intimate with Netflix. He has picture deals with Netflix. So
Ah, okay.
so people are leaning towards that's what's going on. And dude, the people saying these cryptic things are on par with QAnon people because it's
Why?
kind of I'll tell you. So during 2020, during COVID, Warner Brothers wasn't making anything. And so they went back to Zack Snyder and they're like, "Do you want to?" Oh, sorry. There was this whole
I thought
online.
QAnon disappeared though. Like that's like hasn't been talked about forever.
So listen, there was a whole online campaign in 2020 called hashtag Release the Snyderverse, right? This were fans of the Batfleck Batman, of the Henry Cavill Superman, of the
Mhm.
Jason Momoa. These were fans of this universe that would release the Snyder Cut, the movie that was meant to be that Snyder never did because he had that family tragedy and he had to leave, right? So Warner Brothers has nothing, and so I think they gave him a few million, like not like 50, 100 million. They gave him a few million, and I think he reshot some things in his backyard with Ben Affleck, with Henry Cavill, with like all these people, and he released the Snyder Cut. And dude, it did huge numbers because people were trapped inside. And he didn't release it as a movie; he released it as a 4-part mini series of like an hour and a half each.
Interesting.
And that's kind of what people want, which is why you got
Streaming.
Jammer
Right.
series.
You got to
And
throw that in there.
at official Jammers series,
Yeah.
and no, and so him alluding to the return of this, right? It like he used to allude to the Snyder Cut, and one of those things was he posted a picture of his finger cut, like a cut on his finger,
Ah,
Snyder
okay.
Cut.
Yes, yes.
So people were saying this, and they probably look like schizoids the way that QAnon people were like, "Oh, Trump said the number. What is it? I don't remember. 17, I think it was
Yeah.
uh, back then. They're like, oh, Trump said 17 times. Like, oh my God, he's the president. It's not Joe Biden. That kind of shit. So it's the same thing, low key going on. But they were right, actually. And so he released the Snyder Cut after posting these things, and he's doing the same
Oh,
thing
I
now.
got you.
So he's alluding to the same thing now. He hasn't posted on Instagram in like 3 years. Now, why am I talking about Zack Snyder so much? Because James Gunn is the head of DCU right now. Skydance and Paramount are looking to buy it. Netflix is looking to buy it to Warner Brothers on his stuff. But it looks like Zack Snyder, somebody who's already in with Netflix, is posting like pretty certain that he's going to return
Mm,
do this, and he just posted a picture of Jared Leto holding a number 2 up. And he's the Joker. Jared Leto's the
right.
Joker.
So you're pretty optimistic about if that does take place. You as a film fan and person that works in this business, you are optimistic and happy about this scenario possibly taking place.
Honestly, I think as an indie filmmaker, I think I would rather work with Paramount currently. Believe it or not.
Why?
Um, because they're looking for these certain voices, and if not done correctly, it'll flop horrendously. But if done correctly, everybody can love it.
Mm,
If you're leaning too right, you're not like the majority of people that ingest media are left. You
right.
know, I'm just being
No,
honest
no.
here.
And speaking of which, the whole I don't even know what they called it, but the diversity, equity, inclusion situation, you have to have a different cast member of different
Nobody wants
religion.
that,
But
but
no,
people.
but are they still following that, or is that over in
I
Hollywood?
think they got the message right. Everybody says
Really? I
woke
thought
is
it was
dead.
still
Woke is
going.
dead. I personally think we're about to have like crazy amounts of like new things that
Like
new technology.
1980 films, big buff guys on TV again, or no?
Well, that's what Paramount is trying to say they want to do.
I
That's what
see.
I want to do. I mean, I want to do the both. I want to
Right.
do what is it you want? You want to include everybody? Let's
I
do it.
see.
Let's get fucking jacked guys back in there, dude. Let's get Arnold back in there. He's got another 5 years, dude. Let's get him in there one more time.
Or his son, his young son, who's a younger son,
I love Patrick Schwarzenegger. I would love. You know what?
or the
There's
buff
something
one too, though.
right. Well, he's got 3 sons actually.
Right.
He's got the half Mexican one, which personally I think looks the most like him.
Yeah,
But
he's buff though. That's my
yeah,
point.
he's all natty. But no, his other son is also
He's
Jack
good.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw his sister at Brentwood Country Mart reading. So she was reading a book to all these kids, which was interesting. I went there for a coffee, walked in. I was like, oh, that's cool. But anyways, go on.
No, nothing. I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that. So yeah, you said big buff guys, but I think it needs to be both because people are not gonna want to see like this like hardcore like
Right.
masculine thing just yet, right? And people are not gonna want to see like everybody's a different sexuality and
Right.
they're
Right.
all
So there's
only
going to be a mix instead of just one freaking thing.
just merge both together and make it make sense and don't make it just about their identities.
And you think Paramount's going to do this the
I don't
most?
think I don't think they're going to be able to do what they're saying they're going to do without alienating a huge part of the audience. They've already created a list of I'm not trying to get political about this, but I'll give you an example. This alienates audiences. They've already created like they're public about this. They've created a list of actors that are pro Palestinian or anti-Israel. I don't understand. I don't know, that they'll never work with again, okay?
I see.
And those are Javier Bardem, Emma Stone. Okay, these are huge actors. These are huge
Right.
actors that are loved by Generation Z. So, so, so that doesn't look good. Like saying, like,
Hmm.
oh, actually, we're not going to work with these
Is
people.
Paramount the only company that's done something like that? Because I haven't heard of that.
I'm sure it's been done before.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
this is
made
not to
public.
this is not to critique Paramount saying like, oh, they're doing all of this and they're going to fail. No, no, no. I'm saying like, if not done correctly, you will alienate people. You will alienate people. It's
Right.
going to
Right.
happen. And right now, there's no point in alienating people. We can do everything. We can get the message you want to get out. We can get the message they want to get out, and we can just make good stories again. That's what people want to see. They just want to see like good stories. They don't want to see like an idea that somebody wants to put out there, and then a story wrapped around like a half-assed story. No, no, no. Let's see a story, and we can make it an idea. I know what I'm saying sounds a little confusing,
No.
but
No. It makes
but
sense.
people in the industry will understand what I'm trying to say very well. So yeah, there's that. And again, like how it deals into the city of LA. You know, all of these big studios right now, Disney, Universal, all these big studios, they're filming in London in Pinewood. I think the new Spider-Man movie, which is Sony and Disney, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm positive is shooting in Glasgow, um, Scotland. I think. Yeah, Glasgow. Yeah.
Well, let me just read this off. Here's some data from what I got. I think it's all pretty factual. Um,
Glasgow's in
when
Scotland, right, Alex? Yeah.
when when Disney bought Universal, I'm sorry, if 20th
Fox.
Century Fox, 4,000 layoffs took place. Considering what you just said about how a lot of these studios are already going overseas and they've been doing that for years, maybe it's going to be even more of a blimp than the 4,000 that took place in 2019 because of obvious reasons. Now everything's more streaming, but more so, people have been leaving the country for film. But I saw something like at least 20 million or more of income or the economy in Century City when that took place evaporated. So I
Mhm.
can only imagine it's gonna hurt Burbank to some degree because of all the losses that take place.
For sure. Um, all of these are going to hurt people at the end of the day. Let's be real. No matter what happens, like the people from that area are going to lose their job, right? The people from, I doubt that Amazon acquires Warner Brothers and they're like, yeah, we'll keep the same people on. No, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So either way, people will lose their jobs
I
to
think
the acquisition.
there might be some more inventory, real estate inventory that'll be brought up in Burbank then. Like
Well,
people might have to be forced to sell.
but you have to also think like studios will be built regardless of what happens. They're gonna build studios somewhere. Now
Here
the question that's the
in
question. Like, will it be here? I really don't know. And so how it pertains to LA, what I say is that it should pertain to LA. They should build it here. This
Yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah.
built in Georgia. It
I
shouldn't be
agree.
built in Shreveport, Louisiana, where 50 Cent has his like $3 billion studio or
Yes.
whatever.
I saw
It should
that.
be here in LA. So my frustration is
LA
like,
first.
yeah, LA first. Stop outsourcing, dude. Stop giving our freaking money
I know.
to England, dude.
I agree.
We fought those people, dude. 300 years. Come on, man. We're just gonna give him all his money.
I agree with that, man. They should keep the economy strong here in LA. I mean, this
Dude,
is where it all started.
Trump had tweeted that like I'm gonna send Mel Gibson and John Voight to correct Hollywood, and it's like first off that never happened. Second
I
of
was about to
all,
ask you, did that happen? But second of
never
all, what
happened.
was it?
Never happened. Second of all, it's like Mel Gibson, I love and I'll never say anything bad about him. First of all, but I don't care. But he's not the guy you put to like be in charge of Hollywood to inspire people.
Right.
Okay, don't inspire me. But he's not going to inspire. He's not going to inspire you. He's not going to inspire other. Look, Mel Gibson, regardless of what you're going to say about him, he made movies in dialects that barely exist anymore. Okay, there's like I think 400,000 people in the entire planet that
Hmm.
speak Aramaic. Passion of the Christ is entirely in Aramaic.
Right.
There's a couple of thousand people that speak Quechua. All of Apocalypto is in Quechua. Okay, and I'm from Ecuador, so motherfuckers are still. The other thing is he casted like
The
indigenous
real
people.
people. Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
this is
He's more
two
woke than the woke people now that fake it.
and they'll never admit it. So and I'm afraid, that's why I don't like talking bad about people that do great things, and then it's easy to shit on them because they had, I took a Xanax bar or fucking got too drunk or something.
Right.
Like,
Right.
like, dude, those are still great pieces of entertainment. Okay,
Right.
I'm not even talking about Braveheart or his acting piece. I'm talking about like things that are hard to do, like
Right.
intellectually hard to do. Okay, like not knowing those languages and directing that. Anyway, John
So
Boyd.
that, yeah, John Voight. Right.
Who the fuck cares about John Boyd? Why would like Donald Trump is like John Boyd is gonna go set Hollywood right,
Who's the
dude?
next one? You said a third guy.
I forgot who the third guy
Oh,
was,
okay.
but it should have been. uh Sorry, I
But
ain't remember.
basically, it never happened, right? But what was number two
No,
though? You said there was
no,
the
no.
second thing.
First of all, it never happened.
Right.
Number two, these are not the guys you sent to
Oh,
go do this.
got
Yeah,
it.
that's what I was going to say. Okay, like you could have spoken to Taylor Sheridan. You could have spoken to Taylor Sheridan, who's the creator of Yellowstone.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think that, I think Taylor Sheridan is top three most talented person in Hollywood
Tulsa, the
willing today.
Sylvester
Dude,
Stallone.
Sly was the third one. Sylvester Stallone was the third one.
That's it. That was the third one. I mean, he's
He's
great,
great. He's great. That's a good one,
but
but
he's in Florida now.
Sly's not doing much. He's
Yeah.
not doing much with
Tulsa
that.
King.
No, but I'm saying like he's not like actively like, oh, let me see if there's like a young guy out here. I'll give him a chance.
Well, I think LA failed him in that regard with all the crime that took place. That's why he took his family to Florida, which is too
That's
bad.
what that's what I was gonna say. It's like, dude, you don't send an emissaries because these are his emissaries for Hollywood, right? You don't as like you don't send like three of the most feared Roman generals to go conquer a land and expect those people to love you. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like that's what he did. Like the most like he sent three of the people that like, people in Hollywood fear the most. Not fear, but don't like. You know what I mean?
But
Like
they were
people
never sent here to begin with, is what you're saying. Nothing happened.
no, nothing happened. But either way, people were not accepting of that. Now, if Donald Trump had talked to somebody more chill, somebody who was willing to say, "Hey, I don't agree with Donald Trump, but I want to make Hollywood great again, and if the president's going to get involved, let's see what we can do." If
Matthew
we're going to get
McConaughey, maybe? I don't know.
dude, Matthew McConaughey would have been
The
the
best
the,
one.
the best one. And
I
no,
agree.
so you get Taylor Sheridan, you get Matthew McConaughey, and you get someone like
You got to add a woman in there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that would have been
You
great. That
gotta-
would have been great. Yeah. But no, it was just like boomer, like it was like
right.
boomer slop. Like, oh, we're gonna get Sylvester's Rocky and Braveheart and the guy who was raped in that country. What's that movie name where John Voight he didn't get raped, his buddy gets raped. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
John
Okay.
Voight from anything else. And dude, I'm a huge film guy. I'm not like a huge. I'm not like, oh, have you ever seen like this movie you've never heard of? I'm not that. But I don't. John Voight is Nicolas Cage's dad in National Treasure. What the hell else has he done that the young people would care about? You know what I mean?
See who that is real quick. I'm kind of blanking.
John Voight?
Oh, that's Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
her.
I see him in LA often.
Here's the other thing. She hates him.
Yeah.
And like Gen Z and Gen Alpha and all these kids, they know that. They're like, oh, Angelina Jolie's father that she hates. It's like, dude, So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who
What he
you
was
know.
thinking.
I don't know who. No, somebody told him to do that. I don't know who told him to do that. Sorry, my thing's going off here. Um, Somebody told him to do that. I don't know who told him to do that, but it was a huge flop. I love two of those guys, Mel Gibson and Sly. I do not like John Voight at all. I have no love for him as an artist whatsoever because I've never experienced a John Voight movie that
Right.
I'm like, oh my god. And guess what? I'm like 30. So what do you think people 25 and all these things that are watching
They
like,
don't
oh man,
know.
they're not going to care. Now, what do you think people in the industry are going to think? They hate those guys. So off rip, yeah, Hollywood, like, you know, if one of these, you know who is trying to do that? Paramount is trying to work with Trump. But again, dude, it's like you need to have the love of the people. If you don't have the love of the people, the people will not go watch your movies, okay? And
But
for the
even
last
the
couple
even the people here that love, I don't know, whoever's in power in Hollywood,
wait,
they're
wait,
not
wait.
watching the movies really.
What I was going to say is what they've learned in the last 10 years is you can virtue signal, you can do all you want, but if your story's crap, people are not going to go watch it.
Hmm.
So you need to do both. You need to have the love of the people, which we used to have, okay, and you need to have good stories. That's the formula. Love of the people and good stories. And
Okay.
so it's that simple.
I hope
Like
that takes place because I still work Hollywood Hills as a realtor. But ever since kind of the trajectory downward that's been happening with Hollywood, Hollywood Hills is not as, there's not as much movement there there used to be, not as much excitement. People are going to
right,
the South Bay or the Valley to some degree,
I agree.
or like, yeah, or the beach areas essentially, but not Hollywood Hills anymore as much as it used to be. It used to be
No,
the spot to be.
I know it's not like that anymore. Yeah.
What competes with Hollywood?
Like globally, what competes with Hollywood? Nothing. We're the best. That's the whole thing.
For
Is like we
now.
are the best for now.
I mean, weather-wise, there couldn't be a better
Hmm.
place.
Here's the thing: the Saudis and China, they're both like. So here's the other thing.
Wait, wait,
They're
wait. What about Spain? Does very good movies on Netflix.
I
but
mean, Spain had the opportunity to be the California of Europe. As far as, hey guys,
Hey, Spain, what?
yeah, I mean they did some studios because Spain is the same. It's the same exact weather as Los Angeles.
Right.
You have guaranteed 250 sunny days a year.
That's amazing.
So where does that happen? It happens in the south of Europe, and it happens in California. I
Hmm.
don't know where else it happens. I mean, obviously in Morocco and places
Right.
like that.
That's a very valid point because climate is everything in economics. I mean, when things start raining, construction stops. Same thing, I guess, for film. When it gets really bad, filming stops.
Yeah, and if you have to insure a movie for rain days, your insurance is going to be a lot less in California than it's going to be in Atlanta
Right.
or Florida.
Right.
You can't shoot outdoors in Florida for
No.
7 months of the year.
No. It's bad. Everybody will just end up all sweaty on camera.
Sweaty or rainy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
All right,
true.
we'll get back to the man there.
no, that was great. That was great. You were right about that too. But you were asking me about like Spain and Netflix,
No,
and
no, I'm just asking. My question was, what can Hollywood? Hollywood doesn't really have anybody to fear.
yes, it does. That's what I was getting at.
That's my
So it's
question.
not a country; it's the internet. Hollywood is
The
competing
internet.
with TikTok.
Oh,
Competing. It's the same thing with video
Instagram.
games.
That's great.
Dude. This
I'm
is
glad he asked that.
yeah. I'm glad you asked that. So right now, the biggest IP Xbox Microsoft has had is Halo. It's an Xbox only. Halo is Xbox only. They just announced that they're making a Halo remake and that PlayStation players will now be able to play Halo. Why am I bringing this shit up right now? Because they announced that our competition is not PlayStation, it's TikTok.
Right.
It's other forms of entertainment. Now, the movie industries have said this before, but they're trying to not say it as much anymore. I don't see them saying it anymore. Like, oh, we're competing with TikTok, we're competing with Instagram, we're competing with, whatever. They used to say it. They're not saying it as much anymore, but that is their competition is
Mm,
Gen Z being like, okay, why would I go watch that movie of that guy I don't like, starring that guy that I don't like? right? Because now everybody doesn't like somebody, right?
Right.
Why would I go watch that when I could go just watch YouTube videos of my favorite podcaster or my favorite streamer? YouTube is the competition. Why people are watching people live their lives, dude.
Right.
Literally. People are online watching people live a better life. People are online watching people talk about things they can't talk about. People are online watching.
That's for sure.
Um,
Jeez, that's
sorry,
so loud.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to turn that off. I'm so sorry. But
Well, I don't think it's gonna hurt. I don't think it's gonna hurt Burbank too much like it did in 2019 to Century City, because since that progression, there's already been a lot of job losses in LA. That is kind of already, in a good position.
I'm sorry about that. It's going off. Yes, I think you're right. It won't. I don't think Burbank will suffer as much as it did a couple of years ago. But I think things will be mitigated for LA. But at the end of the day, it'll still affect the fact. It'll still have a not negative effect, but a no effect to the actual entertainment industry.
Mm.
I think that's what, and maybe people could call me crazy, like, dude, that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I was like, okay, cool. If I'm proven wrong, please, that's amazing for everybody. Okay, I would love a revival, a renaissance in LA. I would love to see that. That's why I came out here, right? But I don't see anybody doing that. So
you don't think there's going to be a revival in Hollywood? It's going to be the internet that takes over, and that's why Netflix will.
I think it needs to be
and
both
Amazon.
because right now, a part of the industry is like AI is going to take my job, and we've already talked about this. But if you're worried about AI taking your job, dude, then like go find a different job, because you need to ensure that AI cannot take your job. You need to stand out the fact that AI cannot take my job. AI writes terribly right now. AI cannot go and introduce somebody, have a drink with somebody, and try to get them to finance $12 million into a film with somebody attached that I have a signed letter of intent from. You know what I mean? AI can't do that yet. AI can't be a producer yet. Who knows?
Right.
But that's what I can do, right? But people are tripping out about that. So you have half the industry tripping out about that. Everybody's tripping out about a bunch of things, and it's like, who here is trying to actually be the spearhead, the spear of a Renaissance movement,
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. That's a good update. I appreciate you sharing all that.
Yeah. Of course.
Do you envision a day when there will be a company that's AI from the bottom up, the whole thing?
That's definitely already happening. I know a guy who's trying to do that right now. Well, not trying, he is doing it. It's just that AI is inevitable with film, because CGI is so expensive, dude. It's
Right.
so expensive, and it takes forever to render. So if we can master that, we can crank out movies for and these studios right now, they have all this power because they have the artists, they have the famous people. So I think, maybe I'm crazy, but I think like in 10 years, you'll be able to, like, an indie filmmaker will be able to like get a deep fake AI version of like a famous actor for a cheaper price through their agent, through their manager. You know what I'm saying? And what you'll do is you'll have like a body of somebody that looks like them, and they'll just put their face on it.
Right.
You know
But
what I
no,
mean?
there's already laws in effect that you can't take that away from like a person, essentially,
No, but you
especially
have
if.
to pay them. No, but you have to
Oh,
pay them.
I see.
Yeah. What I'm saying is people will be able to pay these actors not $20 million.
Right.
Robert Downey Jr. got paid 200 million or something, or 100 million. Pretty sure it's
I think
100
I
million.
think I heard something about I don't know, an AI company bought the there's a proper word for what we're talking about here. Bought its imagery or some word
Like,
of its likeness of Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
And
Cool.
Keanu Reeves is going to be in movies now that he's not even going to be on. It's going to be his AI.
I've already talked about this in the last podcast we did. The movie The Congress. That's literally what the entire movie is about. It's about an actress doing that.
I see. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
But I'm not surprised it's Keanu. I mean, dude, he's Neo. That's kind of like his vibe, like.
He was right, dude, all along. The Matrix.
Yeah, he was right. He comes full circle.
Yeah. All right. I know you got to get going soon, right? From what I
Yes.
understand. So I will end it with a couple questions. I like to ask my guest if they can leave a question for the next guest. You got very lucky on this one. The last guest asked a very basic question, and it's, what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of is,
And it can be jammers. I'm just kidding. It could be jammers.
I mean, I am most proud of Jammers, the best thing I've ever done so far. But I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my ability to do the things that I do. I'm very proud of that.
Good. Okay. What would be your question for my next guest? And you obviously won't know who it is. I don't even know who it is.
Um, what 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 gives you what drives you? Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Cool. All right. Last one is rapid fire real estate edition. I'll ask you a quick question, and then you just give me the answer. Spanish home or colonial home?
Spanish home.
Okay. Beach house or mountain house?
Beach house.
Beach house. Florida man. Okay. Gym in the house, right? Or a theater room?
Gym.
Gym. Okay. Podcast. I'm sorry. What?
I said, damn. Any filmmaker watches this guy's a fraud, dude.
you're a 1980s freaking actor, is what you are. Buff guy on camera. That's funny. Okay, I think that's it. If you want to leave any info, like your
like always, follow me at AJ Shaitelli or at Official Jammers Series. Well, Jammers for Official Jammers Series. We're working on some great stuff. I'm working on some other stuff besides Jammers that is very, very exciting. So yeah, and I'll keep you posted.
This was good. You're a lot less controversial than I was expecting tonight. So
also, no, I'm just kidding.